All right, this is my daily update for my Build a Public log. It's April 1st, 2025. No April Fool's nonsense from me today. I'm sorry, but uh, I've seen several really lame things on social media about April Fools, and none of them were very funny, to be completely honest. And back in the day, you used to see really funny stuff. People would go all out for April Fools, make fake products, even like damn near make a fake product. Like a lot of cool, funny stuff back in the day, But now it's not so funny. Uh, I've recorded this twice now, and my software I'm using has failed me both times, so I'm kind of frustrated. So hopefully the third time's the charm here. So here we go. The last basically today, all I've done is a little polish on the site on the landing page here. And I've been trying to get the word out for Agents Code, my AI agent API service. So I'm sharing this. I'm getting it out there. I'm trying to get attention, get views, and get feedback, really. So I'm going to do a bit more of that tonight, and that's probably all I'm going to get done. So just trying to get the word out there. So one thing I do want to say, if there's an agent that you want built, please come here. Come to agentscode.dev. There's a link in the description, and click what agent do you need. I added a bunch here for email stuff. Somebody actually upvoted that. That's really cool. What do you want built? You tell me, what would you really, really like and need to put into your product and run at scale? Why is there a bunch of email stuff? Because last year I spent 8 months of my life building a complete product for Gmail using AI. For Google to block me. Google refused to approve and let me continue on with the process for getting approved. They refused to approve my app. Really unfortunate. I wasted a lot of time. I did not foresee that Google would just do that, and I wasted 8 months of my time. It led to a lot of financial hardship and a lot of stress and a lot of agony, but I got to learn a lot. So all these, I kind of already have code for, so I think I know, I'm very, very, very familiar with how to do all of this. I have a lot of code built. So I'd be able to hammer out a lot of email agents pretty quickly. That's why they're up there. Somebody seems interested in this. There is a service that does this that charges a lot of money. So that's kind of why it was on the top of my radar, and apparently somebody else's. So you go there, you tell me what you want, and if a bunch of people have voted, that thing's getting built. Let me know. One thing I wanted to quickly talk about was, speaking of trying to figure out what agents to build, the one site I have seen that is the closest thing to what I'm trying to accomplish is Agent AI. Really, really crazy domain name that probably cost them millions of dollars. This is the closest thing I've seen to what I want to build. The difference is this is you run it here. And this is when I'm building something that runs in the cloud like this, but you drop this into your product and you consume the data. So you send a data, you get data out, and then you do something in your app. That's the only difference. This is kind of like run in the browser. So I came here, I've been here several times in the last few months, and I've looked what is the most popular agent? I'll just build that. Makes sense. But look at this. YouTube video script generator. Yeah, I have a YouTube agent, and this one has been ran 72,000 times. Now I don't know how accurate these numbers are. I'm assuming they're pretty accurate because of what I'm about to say. One thing I want to point out is look at the reviews. 4.2, 4.2, 4.3, 4.2. These are pretty abysmal ratings. If these agents, which they kind of advertise as being someone you hire, if these agents were on Upwork, they'd be kicked off. If they were Uber drivers, they'd be kicked off the platform. They were Uber Eats or any of those apps that deliver you food, and they had such an abysmal score, they'd be kicked off. Why are the scores so low? Because I'm here to tell you, this is the whole ethos behind what I'm building, Agents Code. The agents need a lot of work. They need a lot of manual code for handling the inputs, the outputs, handling the failures, recovering from failures. They need a lot of monitoring. They need a lot of constant improving. It's a lot of work, and a lot of agents are way oversold, way overhyped, and don't perform. They really don't. I have spent the last 2 years of my life. I haven't had a job. I've been doing all this stuff full time. I've pushed all these models, and I've really done a lot of work to push everything to the end, like like the very absolute what they're capable of. So I have a fairly good understanding of what these are capable of, and I think way too many people are not writing enough manual code. Really, it's just not going to work without real code and a fair amount of real code, which the LLM part is just a little piece of that. What I'm trying to accomplish here is really robust agents, and I want a rating too. I want benchmarks, I want ratings. And let me tell you, like 4.3 is not going to be acceptable in here. It's really not. So I've talked about this in previous videos, how I want my agents to learn, like, report errors, like report suggestions. Hey, we're seeing, I'm seeing this a lot. Like, I suggest you change the code this way. Then they're kind of like self-healing, getting, they improve them, self-improving. But with a human in the loop, with me looking at it and going, oh yeah, okay, you're right. Oh, let's do this. Oh yeah, this will make this more robust, or the quality better. I want as close to 5.0. I think that's proof of what I've been saying for a while, that agents are overhyped, and a lot of them just don't fucking perform like they're advertised. I don't want that. I want real ones that actually advertise, because somebody, like a human, really sat there and made sure that thing actually works remotely okay. More work to go. I have so much more work to do on this all. I got to build the SDK. I got to add docs. But I really need feedback. Let me know what you think if you've checked this out. Let me know if you're interested in an agent, or you have experience. What do you think? Have you used some of these agents out there? What do you think? All right, moving on. Questions and comments. Congratulations, man. Looks great. I've missed some of the progress since I've been really busy with the new gig, but the story unfolding here is awesome. Keep it up. And if I have any agent ideas, I'll send them your way. Thank you so much. I super appreciate it. It's been a lot of hard work, and I'm not stopping until this is working. I have customers who are satisfied, and that 4.3 shit is not going to fly with me. Moving on to my random story for today. I can't go into too much detail, but I recently saw a developer who got assigned a really hard task, and they weren't able to get it done. And they had to hire someone, like another temporary person, to do this work. And it reminds me of a time at a really old job, like, I don't know, 8 years ago, where I had to make a Gantt chart, something kind of like this. So the whole product was for an airline, a U.S. airline, to manage their whole entire operation. They see all their flights, they see all the crew, they see all of the it's called a flight leg. Like, hey, a plane going from X, A to B, the actual aircraft, the crew, and they could manage this all. And there was like this chart that just like slowly ticked, across the screen, and you could see, like, kind of like a TV guide. If you look, you can see what's playing now and what's done, what's up next, what played before. Kind of like that, but like for managing airline flights. It's pretty hard. It's a pretty serious job. Like, you can't fuck that up, because, like, that's pretty serious. That's an airline managing their whole operation. I remember, like, we lived in that chart. That was like most of what we coded in. And I had to do a lot of work to, like, optimize it so the performance was good. Okay, I figured that out. I had to do this, that, nah, okay, no worries. But then they gave me a task. They're like, we need to, pretty kind of like what this is showing. So you have the airplane, you have the crew, you have the captain, the co-pilot, the flight attendants. Once the plane landed, at destination B, those people had to go elsewhere, and not together. Like the captain and the co-pilot may go to one plane. This crew member may go to another one. So they wanted me to draw lines where you can like hover over and see who that crew member is, kind of like this, but where it went like all across the screen, and they wanted all these lines, and the data was always updating, and they wanted it like always updating like live, real time, basically. And I was like, I've never done any data visualization. I don't even really know how Canvas truly works. I've never used like WebGL or any crazy visualization stuff. I don't know how to do this. I've never done anything like this. I've never done anything like this. And they're like, well, you got to figure it out, get it done. So days went by. Oh, I was struggling like hell. Days go by, and I'm going and going and going. Finally, like a week goes by, and they're like, what is the deal? Where's this thing at? And I actually got something on the screen. I got something kind of working. And I was like, look, I'm a little stuck. I do have something working. I think I'm down the right path. I think if I do X, Y, Z, I can make this work, but I need a little bit more time. And I'll never forget my manager was like, no, that's wrong. You got to do it like this. But what he said was bullshit. I tried what he did say. I did try, but I knew I was like, that's not going to work because X, Y, Z, you got to do it this way. I knew I knew I was down the right path. I knew I was close, but I just needed some damn help. Like, just pair with me, for a couple of hours. I think we'll get this done. And I'll never forget my manager got really, really upset with me. Like, really up to like wanted to fire me, kind of upset. Because I couldn't figure out a really hard task I've never done before. And I was stunned about how mad and upset they were. Because I was like, I've never done anything like this before. It's been like a week. I don't know what to tell you. I was like, I think I'm really close. I think I'll get something working, but it's like, this is really hard. I've never done anything like this before. I just don't have experience doing this. And it was very eye-opening, and I realized, wow, if you can't do a task, you're in big fucking trouble. You're like, they may want to fire you because you just can't do some crazy weird task they randomly gave you. At a previous job, I had the same thing happen where I got assigned a really crazy task I've never done before. I was slowly making progress, but not enough, and they got really upset with me there too. So I'm telling you right now, this is my hot take. If you're ending up in that situation where it's been weeks and you're spinning your wheels, hire someone. Secretly hire someone to help you. Now, I'm not saying give away proprietary code or give someone access you're not supposed to. Like, what? There's ways to do this the right way without doing that. Get someone on Zoom, like tell them how you're trying to approach it. Get help from someone who's done it. Secretly do this if you have to. Because I'm telling you, nowadays, it's so cutthroat, you could get fired for not being able to complete a task. Even if it's some weird, crazy thing that you're just not an expert in. I'm serious. Hire someone. Secretly if you have to. Like, get a contractor to do it, like, in a different project, you know what I mean? But, like, not the same code base. Do whatever you gotta do, like, something that's easily replicatable if they do it in another repo. Okay, I can pull that in, and I understand the technique. Do what you gotta do, because nowadays they'll just fire your ass for not being able to do something. So, I don't know if this guy's gonna get fired, but it's not looking good. You know what I mean? It's not looking good. I'm not gonna lie. I've been there before. I feel this guy's pain. But, yeah, the way things are right now, it's so cutthroat, you do not want to not deliver. Anyways, that's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.